Hello, Nancy. It's nice to see you. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, thank you.
Great. Um, I see here that you're 34 weeks gestation. Do you have any questions for me before we start the appointment?
Not really. I've been feeling quite strong and healthy.
Oh, good. I'm really glad to hear that. So, at this appointment, what I wanted to discuss with you is something called critical genital heart disease. The acronym is CCHD. Do you know anything about that?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. So this discussion is with the goal, you don't need to make a decision today, but by the end of this discussion, my goal is that you'll be aware of a test, and that's for testing for critical genital heart disease in newborns. Would you like to know more about that?
Yeah, sure. Sounds kind of interesting.
Sure. Okay, so CCHD is a condition that occurs when baby's heart or major blood vessels don't form properly. And sometimes with CCHD within the first year of life, the baby will require surgery or an intervention. So the test for it is performed within the first 24 to 48 hours of life, and it's just done at the bedside with something called a pulse oximeter.
Hmm.
A pulse oximeter is a probe that goes on the right hand of the baby and on either of the foot, and it's a light that shines through the hand that measures the amount of O2 in the blood.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that test result comes back, so it's measuring whether the baby has enough O2 or not. If it comes back positive, that doesn't necessarily mean that the baby has CCHD, but it does mean that we'll want to do further testing. And then if it becomes back negative, that means that everything's okay with oxygen and the values are what we consider to be normal.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a painless and quick procedure. Um, CCHD affects 3 in 1,000 babies. So although it's rare, it can have serious consequences. And because the test is um, available and accessible, it is recommended. And I do recommend it for you. Um, but you don't have any risk factors for CCHD, but it is offered to everyone in Ontario.
Right. Is it hereditary?
CCHD can be hereditary, but not always.
Okay. And so it just been within the first 24 to 48 hours, then, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, if you do you think that that's something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, like it's non intrusive as long as it's, not painful. I would definitely like to have that test on my baby.
Yeah, it is definitely non-intrusive. Sometimes babies don't like having their feet held, but other than that, they don't seem to mind it.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long either. The results will come back immediately on the machine. The pulse oximeter will tell me right away, so we'll know whether it's positive or negative right away.
Do you have any idea like how long they've been using this test on babies?
Well, this test has been offered to everyone in Ontario since 2018.
Okay. Yeah, that's I think it's better to know something like ahead of time in case, there's a problem later. So I think that's a good idea.
Okay, that's great. I'll make a note of that in your chart. Um, if the test result comes back positive, what will happen is we might want to have a pediatrician examine your baby. And we also might order an ultrasound called a echocardiogram, which is looking at the heart to see how it's
Right,
formed.
right. Okay.
And yeah, if the baby is diagnosed with CCHD, then the baby will be referred to a cardiologist.
Okay, well that sounds acceptable. So when they do all the other tests when I have the baby, for the reflexes and that, it'll just be like it could be done at the same time then, right? Like when they do the weight and the length and all that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
so we'll do when the baby's born, we're going to do a newborn examination, checking to see really it's landmarking the baseline of where we're starting at, such as head circumference, the length, looking for screening for any genetic anomalies. Um, CCHD is not really a part of that because that's done, the newborn exam is done right away, and CCHD is often done 1 day after the baby's born.
Okay.
But there is a group of tests called newborn screening tests, which we can talk about as well. in a later discussion, maybe, that is a part of the package of tests that are often included with CCHD, which involves taking blood from your baby.
Yeah. Okay, so if I have my baby at home, then could the test still be done in my house?
That's right. We can do this. We can come and do this test at a home visit.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Yeah, sounds fine.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
No, I don't think so.
Great. Great. Um, okay. So then next thing I'll do is I'll take your blood pressure and follow with the rest of the appointment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.